Hello and welcome to episode 27 of Seagulls Social. I am your host Maz, and of course I am joined by my lovely co-hosts Ryan and Ben. It's mad, isn't it, Ryan? 27 episodes we've done.
It's just sort of hit me that 27. That's mad.
That's a lot.
God,
that's a lot.
Where's that gone? That gone?
It's a lot. It's a lot until you get shot. But hopefully we don't get shot. That'd be pretty bad. But no, boys.
Oh, fucking hell.
We're off the back of a FA Cup exit, even though we were all buzzing. We thought this was the year that we were going to win the cup, and it's all come crashing down. Really,
I actually put a tweet on before the game. I was probably buzzing for it. I was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to win the FA Cup." Not to be too over dramatic or anything. No, never mind. Icky, whatever his name is. Ugh.
Okay. My mate's made a good point though. Like, there's no point in going to the FA Cup like semi-finals like last time because we won't even be able to go Wembley. So it's not the end of the world, really, is it?
True. Actually,
we're not missing out on much.
And then we probably get cheated out by the referees again. So
Carl Walker VAR headbutt on Ali Razor.
Imagine we got all the way to the FA Cup final and they it was against Man United and we lost an FA Cup penalty to a VAR penalty, even to Bruno Fernandes. That would just hurt my brain.
And then you get, the memes like "Cry More," whatever it is, with like Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, that thing is so annoying. I remember how many times I got to send that after that 3-2. Oh, pain. Absolute pain.
More annoying than Dan Burn. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah. Go on, Ben. Kick us off, mate. Kick us off, Ben.
I felt okay. So basically, last night after I put up a poll, being like, "Question: Is Dan Burn ready for this level?" And I got a lot of people who said no, but a few people commenting saying this is really reactionary. When he's our best player last season, he's only had a couple of bad mistakes. I was like, "You mad?" Like, I can name so many. I can't right off the top of my head, but I know there is much more than two. This guy listed.
I know for a fact. Leicester was definitely one. Wolves.
Wolves.
And then last night, that's three.
The time when he headed the ball away from the goal, I think that was Wolves as well. He does have those weird things in him. And when he done that Ronaldinho back heel to Ken Gazunda, obviously it was offside, but it was just laughable. And he does that kind of stuff so much. So people saying that was just a one-off, it's definitely not one-off. You should know by now, Dan Burn has that in his locker. But what I do feel bad is, I think looking back on it, there were three options, and I think it could be a mixture of all three. So you could blame all of the people, all of the defenders, like all 9 of them in the box, for not looking behind and seeing where Kelechi was. You could also say, some of my friends made a good point, Christian Walton should have come out and claimed the ball. Would have, could have, should have. I think Sanchez would have done that and come and claimed it. We see him do it all the time, especially against Liverpool and all the other games he's been in, to be fair. And then also you could just point the blame at Dan Burn alone because it was his man. Technically, some people say it's zonal marking. I don't know what marking it was.
Haven't we? Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Dan Burn was the last man there. He, in my opinion, he should have known where he is. At least one of them should have looked around. Out of 9 of them, should have gone right. Quick corner here. But I think what Potter said, he was kind of right. Unfortunately, he said the players thought the game was kind of over. They'll relax, and then all of a sudden the quick corner was taken. And it just reminded me of a mistake that we would have made years ago. That was such a classic Brighton mistake that I haven't seen for quite a while.
Well, you say years ago. I think we made a few mistakes this season.
Form, I suppose, it's true. But I think, the fact we've been playing so well recently, I thought, we're actually progressing and we're moving away from those silly mistakes. Even against Newport, we done it last minute. I think that was like a Jason Steele blunder, wasn't it? We have those mistakes in us still, apparently.
No, definitely. Ryan, anything to add on to that?
No, you're pretty much spot on, really. It's a shame when you look at the 9 in the box and there's one Leicester player there, and it's just
honestly,
when I look at that, it just hurts my brain. I look at that and I'm just like, that actually hurts to see because
there was are you referring to that still image, Ryan? The one where it's you just see
there's literally 9
a yellow wall.
It's
in the
literally
box. A yellow wall.
9 Brighton players in the box. There's Iheanacho and then there's Walton. So there's 10 Brighton players in the box in total, and there's Iheanacho. That's it. And they scored. Seriously.
Honestly.
There's 10
It wouldn't hurt so much
game.
if it was like a 30-yard boomer. It wouldn't hurt as much. I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, that's a good goal. But the fact we conceded it in such an embarrassing manner just makes it so much worse. I was swearing to the rooftops last night, bashing up the sofa.
But Ben, to answer your question, was it the 3 things? I think it was a combination of all those 3 things you mentioned. So Walton should have and could have come out. So he should have been doing that as a keeper. That's his responsibility. He needs to be that that guy to basically take the initiative. But then, yeah, you could then argue, it's like, we have 9 players in the box. How was not one of those players taken, the responsibility to go and attack that ball? And then thirdly, yeah, Dan Burn, he was left like with a bit of egg on his face because he did get caught out. So I definitely think it's a combination of all three. All three things contributed to what happened, and yeah, it's just poor. It's just simply like Ryan said, we fell asleep, and yeah,
that first half, I thought we were very good. I thought, we were pretty much outplaying them the whole game. Really, I mean, I know we didn't in the second half. In the second half, we didn't create too much, but first half we definitely had them. I think Zakiri was actually, because I'm not going to just come and be negative, because let's be like positive. So I'm going to go on the positive aspect.
Yeah, we got called out.
The 93 minutes of positivity. The 93 minutes of positivity. Let's talk about that.
It is though, isn't it? Really. I mean, as I said, Zakiri was really good. I know I've been praising him a lot because I don't know, just for some reason I like him. Taken a like to him. But yeah, he impressed me. His running. He just
quick feet, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Also, quick feet on the ball. I haven't seen a striker be like that. He's pretty agile like that for a striker.
It was good to see. Yeah, that just his work rate as well. He's just very, very good at running around and putting pressure on, and I like that. The 2 Polish boys, I thought Karbownik was very good, and I thought Moda was very good. So Ben loved that. I was thinking. Yeah. I was going to tag Ben on Twitter, and it was just like...
I need to get a Polish citizenship. Some people probably listening to this probably think I've got some like Polish in me. I absolutely don't. I'm fully English, all English blood.
I really like Moda looked really classy. Yeah, I thought he looked very, very classy on the ball, like little touches here and there, like the passing and stuff. And yeah, he just looked... It was a solid debut. Do you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't really ask... No. Obviously, you could ask for more, but, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't, of course, he didn't have like a influential play, but yeah, he just looked classy and looked decent. So I'm
such a sick dynamic to have in midfield compared to the other midfielders we have. Like someone that tall and yet he's so good at the ball. Yeah, it's class. I think he's almost like playing centre back towards the end as well. So maybe that's something we'll probably be looking at, especially that he's left-footed.
We mentioned it before, haven't we? Like when we first signed him, but like he was heavily linked with Bayern. And they pulled out because of I can't remember what the reasoning was.
They wanted to keep him. They didn't want to loan him back. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then who's the other club involved as well? Anyway, it was another big club as well involved. So the fact that Bayern Munich wanted him, I think that says it all. And the fact we were able to get him.
Also as well, Karbownik was playing on the right. I mean, he's a left wing back, and he was playing right wing back, and he did really, really well. Alzate was on left wing back, wasn't he? And he did really well, to be fair to him. I mean, like, you think about Alzate, he's played centre mid, attacking mid, left wing back, right mid. He hasn't played up front yet, so it's probably worth giving him a go, to be fair, because he's covered those 6 positions genuinely so good. Like, I don't think Alzate has ever put a foot wrong in these positions. So, yeah, I think he's probably went under the radar a bit, to be fair, because maybe it was stolen by the likes of Zakiri and Moda. But yeah, he had a really good game, actually. I know he got subbed off, but yeah, I just like Alzate a lot and what he does. So composed on the ball. He just
I think every club, like historically, like Man United had like Park Ji-sung, John O'Shea, those utility men. Like they weren't necessarily the most gifted footballers, and I'm not saying that about Alzate because I think he's gifted as a footballer. He's definitely gifted. But I think every club needs that utility man who can just slot in especially when we've got injuries to March and stuff. Literally anywhere. And
I did find it weird.
Yeah, go on, Ben.
I was going to say I did find it weird that like you said, Karbownik. We know he's both footed, which is unbelievable. But the fact that he's more used to playing left wing back and Alzate is right footed, you'd think you'd swap them on the other side.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I was a bit confused why they were on different sides. And when I think it was BT put up the graphic of Moda playing left wing back, and I put the message into your group chat, boys. I was like, surely Moda is not playing left wing back. I was like having a mini heart attack. I was thinking that would be so stupid for someone that tall. Like the whole point of having Dan Burn not playing left wing back is because he's too tall, and then putting another big player left wing back again.
Yeah, I really hope Webster's back. I mean, I don't think he's going to be for Villa, but please, for Palace, please do not have Burn. Please, I'm sorry, Dan Burn, but I don't want you playing against Palace, mate. If you want, I'll try play. I mean, I'm only 5'8", but I should be able to fit in at centre half, shouldn't I? But no, please.
Have you seen who we do have back for Palace though? Lamptey might be back for Palace, which is absolute scenes. Absolute scenes.
But my only concern with that is, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Right. I'm buzzing for him to come back. I do want him to come back as soon as possible. However, what I don't want happening is if we rush him back for the Palace game and then he gets like re-injured, and that's what I don't want. So I want us to easy because imagine that though. He hasn't played for nearly 2 months now, or however long it is, and he comes straight in for the Palace game. Imagine he got he lasted 20 minutes and got injured again. It's just like, what's the point? Yeah, so I'd rather have Veltman at right wing back and then maybe have him on the bench and just maybe get him on for the last 20 or something, or just sort of introduce him that way.
To be fair, he probably won't start knowing Potter. To be honest, he'd probably leave him on the bench. Maybe Veltman and Karbovnik on either side, and if Webster's all right, put him left centre back.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that. I would love that. Veltman and Karbovnik.
It's harsh on Alzate, isn't it? Then, because I know we have to play Aston Villa in between that, but the way he played at that position, I mean, you can't really drop him for it. So,
no, you're right.
I don't know.
My only thing though, I think Veltman, for me personally, is a much more natural on that side, like as a right wing back, because obviously he plays right centre back / right wing back anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like he's just a more natural fit. Yeah, mate, Veltman's been unbelievable.
Underrated player this season.
Was it 900k? Yeah, 900k we bought him for, and
he doesn't even get bigged up by our fans, to be honest. Veltman, he just really just goes under the radar. Yeah, but I mean, as a general fan base, as a general fan base, like he's probably not as respected as he should be, because I think I can only think of probably 1 or 2 games he's not been on par, and I think the rest of it he's probably exceeded expectations. As you say, brought him in for 900k. I know it's a brilliant clause in his contract for any English club coming in, any Premier League club coming in, as testament to his 17 years at Ajax. Because apparently he was like 25 million worth at that moment when we signed him for 900 grand, and I think he plays more like a 25 million pound right wing back than he does a 900 grand one. So I just like him a lot. He's very consistent, I think is the word for him.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency. Yeah, love that.
Sorry, going back to someone who isn't reliable, can I completely missed this and probably should have said it yesterday during my Dan Burn rant. What have I got here? Sorry. Oh yeah, I think it was after half time. Dan Burn nearly scoring that own goal when it came off his shin and literally went.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, mate, that is just such a Dan Burn thing to happen, and I hate slating him because he does have these moments of absolute class, but so many moments of absolute blunders. And
just referring back to the whole fan thing as well, how on social media and stuff, because obviously we're quite vocal when we talk about Dan Burn, on our personal accounts and on Seagulls Social account as well. We when someone has a bad game, we are quite vocal about it. But I remember some guy replying back to us going, Dan Burn is just a scapegoat, and I was like, not really. No, I think that's a bit I don't think he is, personally. I don't think we use him as a scapegoat. We just call him out when he has a bad game or if he does something bad. I think there's a big difference between using someone as an excuse every time and someone actually doing something wrong every time.
I think
that's a good example. Yeah,
he just got blamed for everything. That was it. People forget how class Stevens was for us. And I know he's not doing very well at Burnley, but he just blamed for everything. Literally everything. Yeah. There could be something he wasn't even involved with, and they'll say, "Oh, for God's sake, Stevens, get him out of the club." I'll be like, "What? He didn't even do anything wrong. He literally wasn't even involved." Oh, it's Stevens' fault anyway. It's just like, get in the bin.
Yeah.
But I'd say Webster's
one thing that does. Yeah.
Webster's probably our new scapegoat, I'd say. I mean, he's probably grown out of it a little bit.
He was, wasn't he?
But he definitely was. He got a lot of stick for nothing. Yeah. And people just remember his mistakes and then forget when he'll do a last man tackle. I'll put my hands up.
I'll put my hands up, and I was actually at first with Webster. I was one of those. I was a bit of a sort of blaming him sort of with the whole sort of general defence. So if the defence did badly, I'll be like, it was because of Webster, which was obviously unfair in hindsight. But yeah, with Dan Burn, I don't feel it is that case. It is simply we just call him out when he does a mistake, makes a mistake, and has a bad game. We're not blaming everything on him. Yeah,
he just finds himself in the worst positions, and he's caught out. That's what he does, and then he dives in. Or he's just completely lost, so he doesn't know what to do. So he runs around a bit like a giraffe, and he's sort of looking around. And that's what Burn goes wrong. He's just out of position, and then he's done. And it was that same move every single time. You come into the byline, you stop, you hold it, you turn him again, he's gone, and you're not going to catch him. Yeah. He's just not going to. Whoever it is, he's not going to catch him. And it's such an obvious.
Remember those walking trees from? Remember the walking trees from Lord of the Rings? Remember, like the massive giant trees.
Rings, but I can imagine.
Right, that's what he reminds me of sometimes when he's running.
No, but we mentioned it earlier though. Like the disallowed goal for Leicester. That for me, that just summed up peak Dan Burn. Like the way he got lost between his feet, and then he sort of looked behind himself, got lost, and then it just pinged to the other.
Done a no-look back pass to Ken Gazunda, just like that.
Yeah,
it was like Ronaldinho would do that kind of back pass. It's class.
Anyway, let's get off Burns back. I know he didn't have a great one, but let's get off him now.
Yeah, we'll leave him alone.
It'll be a good opportunity because speaking of people jumping on people's backs, let's do Percy Cam because I've seen a lot of quite a lot of hate for Percy Tau saying he's useless. But in my opinion, I just don't think the way we were playing was beneficial for him. Like he was feeding off scraps similar to Zakiri. I just don't think we were kind of playing to his game. Like no balls kind of through to him. Maybe because Leicester were defending that way
as well. For
5'6", what's he going to do with that?
Yeah,
what's he going to do with those kind of balls? So
I'd say I think it's unfair to. The only criticism I'd probably have is his inability to hold on to the ball. So when he did get the ball, he was very prone to just giving it straight away very easily. And I'm not going to get on his back because, as I say, it is still early days with him. He needs to settle, but. Yeah, he did give it away too many times. And to be fair to the South Africans on Twitter, they were like saying, he was very ordinary tonight. And I think, to be honest, though, in the first half, he looked pretty good, I'd say. Like him, Zakiri were linking up quite nicely.
Yeah, they did.
He had a few like little tricks and was beating quite a few players. Second half, it just didn't look on the same level as anyone else, unfortunately.
Other than the assist he got for Zakiri's offside goal. I think like that little through ball and Zakiri's little dink over the keeper, which was unbelievable, by the way. He got so that was probably the best thing he'd done in the second half. But I think
that's the thing. You're right. I don't think he had a clang. Like he didn't have a clanger. He wasn't like the worst player on the pitch. No. But he didn't like you said. He didn't do anything to sort of warrant giving him a sort of a praising review. And also, Ryan, the point you make about him giving the ball away, I think that's spot on. It was with what game was it? A couple of games ago when he came on as a sub, and I remember we were saying like he just gave the ball away. He just kept. That's it. Leeds game, and I feel like similar to that. Like at times he'd get the ball and then like you said, Ryan, he just give it away, and it's just like that simple, the simple side of
experience
the game.
In the Premier League, though, isn't it? That's what it is. It's knowing. It's just knowing what to do in those moments. And at the Leeds game, we said, you're bringing on someone for one of their first games for the club against Leeds. You're 1-0 up. You need to grind it out. He doesn't maybe know that to that level. I mean, you ask any player that when they come into the league and from a foreign country, and they always say that the biggest thing is the physicality of the Prem, and that's what gets them straight away. They realise, oh my God, this is actually serious stuff. And to be fair, look at Alexis McAllister. He took a long time to settle. Tariq Lamptey as well. I know he didn't come from a foreign club, but Alexis McAllister is probably a best one. I mean, look at him now. Last night again, different class. When he comes on, you can just tell he's got that about him. And when he come over at first, I saw he had an exclusive on the club actually, and he said he'd come over, and not many players can or do come over from South America straight to the Premier League. They normally go to like Spain or something because it's sort of similar to what they're used to. He said that the jump is just so different. The culture, weather, like those sort of things you don't really think about. Like you can imagine. I mean, it's like if we went to go live out in Argentina on our own at 19, 20 years old, you're going to be like, wow, this is a big change. So, I suppose
my only thing, I do agree with you, Ryan. In the famous words of Maz, I do agree. But on the flip side,
play devil's advocate,
I do think, to play devil's advocate, he is 26, so it's not like he's a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, just fresh, fresh from. So I do get what you're saying, 100%. The cultural side of it. He's a South African guy. He lived in Belgium before, and he's come over to England. So it's definitely a cultural change. I'm not disregarding that. But at the age of 26, I think in terms of his skill set, in terms of the player he is, I think really how much more development is he going to have with regards to I think what we see is what we get with him. Like now, how much more is he actually going to develop and add to his game? I think that's my only maybe drawback. At this age,
even Neymar. I hate to compare him to Neymar, but even Neymar literally said like a few weeks ago. Neymar and Tau, I know. But Neymar even said, because he was asked, are you ever going to play in the Premier League? He was like, absolutely not. He just said strictly no, there's no chance of me doing that because of how physical the Premier League is. He was like, it just wouldn't suit my game at all. There's no point in me
it goes to show
joining the Premier League. So there is a case for that.
Should he be down as one of the best players in the world then? If he can't hack Neymar? It against a physical club? I mean, Do you remember when he played against Liverpool? Milner absolutely bodied him, like literally, completely sent him. It's just complete different. I mean, welcome to.
Was that the same game when Messi nutmegged Milner though? Was it the same game when Messi nutmegged Milner?
That was unbelievable. By the way, just quickly, Messi, I know this is completely. Sorry, just quickly, unrelated to Brighton. Just quickly on the whole Neymar thing. Have you seen he's now mysteriously injured again for a month, leading up to his sister's sister's birthday?
Weird,
and this is basically his girlfriend.
7 years in a row this has happened. 7 years in a row he's had an injury a couple of weeks before his sister's birthday. I mean, if that ain't sus, I don't know what is. But anyway, we got off topic. Go, bring it back, Ryan. Bring it back. What were you saying about the physicality?
Physicality. So I think with Tau, yes, you can say he wasn't the best in that second half. But look, I think it's early doors. He wasn't awful. And I just think it's going to be one of those he's got to settle. Bear in mind, we were playing Leicester, albeit a second-string Leicester side, but it was Leicester, regardless how you look at it. Yeah. So he was playing up against Soyuncu.
You say second string. Yeah, you say second string. They still had, like you said, Soyuncu, Tielemans, Ian Nacho's in and around that team. They still had decent players on the pitch. So it's not like we played, their youth team or whatever it might be.
Both teams had made 7 changes, which was quite something. Yeah. Both exactly the same definitely. Changes.
And ratings, boys. Ryan, let's start with you. What are you giving Percy as a rating out of 10?
First half, he was probably a good 6. I'd say second half, maybe a 5. I think would be fair.
So 5.5 altogether?
Yeah, 5.5. Be all right.
5.5.
He wasn't bad. He just didn't really get the ball much, to be honest. Like it wasn't like he really had the ball. So 5.5.
Yeah, I'll probably say. Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Ryan, but I'm going to be a bit more lenient and give him a 5.8.
5.8.
5.8. That 0.3 really makes a big difference.
Huge difference, mate. Because that 6 is a pretty hefty rating. So
fair enough. Well, do you know what, Ben? I'm going to go controversial and go 6. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him a 6.
Hopefully he's listening. Actually, that's going to be a massive confidence boost for him, Maz.
I'm going to say one thing actually, because I saw someone put on saying that Tau's a complete donkey, and it had like 100 replies from South Africans calling him racist. And I think South Africans think that he meant like monkey is what I think they thought he meant, but that's not what. So like for South Africans, if you're watching, we just call people donkeys. Like if they're just like pretty clumsy, it's like what. Yeah, like people say donkey.
Or Radamel Falcao, he was a donkey. I remember him being a donkey.
Yeah, we don't mean like racist terms or like saying he's a donkey, or like we're not saying he's a monkey or anything. That's not what he was meaning. He just said donkey. So like if you're a South African watching this, it wasn't a racist comment. It was just a
On the subject of Percy and South Africa, still, how funny. As soon as Percy Tau was announced in the starting lineup, how funny is it that the following tweet was, you can get free shipping to South Africa with Percy Tau shirts now.
I was like, genius, mate.
That was amazing.
Marketing genius.
Fair play.
Paul Barber, bro.
Mate, listen, I think he can capitalise on it. Fair play to him. I'm all for it,
And then Danny's friend of the show, he tweeted, he was like, oh, finally we can afford a new striker now. I was like, that is class.
I think I did see
Fingers
that.
Crossed.
Very good tweet. Very good tweet. And then, of course, and then we have discussed it, but they got their 94th minute winner, which basically ended all our dreams and hopes of an FA Cup glory. Going to Wembley. Well, we couldn't have gone to Wembley, but watch them on the telly. Ended the journey. But what do you think of the in terms? That would have been dead, wouldn't it? Imagine we got to our first ever FA Cup final. Oh no, so not first ever, second ever FA Cup final, and we just weren't allowed to go.
Couldn't even go. Or even won the FA Cup, and then we weren't allowed to go. Like, it still would be class winning it. But the fact that
basically, what we're trying to say is we didn't care anyway. Like what?
Didn't want anyway.
We would have been able to make. To be fair, if we got to the final, we would have been able to make some key rings and banners and pens like Tottenham did.
Like Spurs.
That is embarrassing. Did you see that?
Was actually
the
shocking.
Carabao Cup finalists. You can buy pens, you can buy like sheets, and you can buy.
To be fair, you got to respect the grind. If you're trying to make some money, I've got to respect it.
Unbelievable.
But it's just Daniel Levy to a T. Like any way to make
money.
Magnet.
Yeah,
any way to make
magnet saying Carabao Cup
money,
finalists.
Like, what is going on, mate?
That is embarrassing. I'd love to see how many they actually sold, because obviously, like, there will be a few Spurs fans that have so much Spurs memorabilia. So I'd love to see how many people actually bought it, because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, that's shocking. That. The thing is, though, on the whole sort of FA Cup run, though, just from my end, I'm actually like. I'm not gutted really, because as long as we stay in the Premier League, for me that's the number one priority.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal, just to keep in the Premier League. And then now that we've got this sort of settled and exciting young squad, I think for next season then we can now let's go on a cup run. Let's solidify our. Let's be stable in the Premier League, then go for cup runs. I just feel like with us, languishing at the bottom at the moment, and, to be fair, we're not actually anymore, but when we were, I was a bit like, well, do we need a cup run to sort of distract us? But I don't know what you boys think. Let's start with you, Ben. Like, do you agree with that, or would you have wanted to see a proper cup run?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it would have been nice a bit like just being in the quarter final. You never know who you would get. Well, if we won last night, we'd be in the quarter final. Last day, you never know who you'd get, and then you could potentially then be in the semi final if you get a lucky draw. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who Leicester do get in the next round. Next year, can we do a cup run? I don't see why not. Especially if we see this improvement continue, I don't see why we can't. Like if we fingers crossed finish mid table and then do a little cup run, that'll be a successful season in my eyes.
100%. Yeah, 100. Ryan?
Yeah, I would have liked it, but it's what it is, isn't it? Really, it's not going to happen. So just got to get over it now. Move on to Villa.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think it's there for the taking. We beat them at Villa Park earlier this season, and actually one thing I was going to say on the back of the last game was, it was very impressive with how well our second team played and how their ability to be able to kick the ball around first touch and sort of just one-touch football I thought was really good. I know that's the manager's job, but at the same time, to drill that into, as deep down as the second team, even some of the third team players, if they can have that ability, then that goes to show just, how much we are really going by the philosophy of the club and trying to cement that sort of, one-touch passing ability to break down a team, you know what I mean? So I think it was a lot of positives to take from it. As I say, we're against the Leicester side of, with their second team and our second team. You said they both made 7 changes. That's pretty impressive on our part. And you think about the average age of last night. I'm not sure what it is, but, it must have been very young, back to front of our team. We were a very young team fielded. So, yeah, I'm positive about it. But then I've been positive for weeks now, so people are probably going to think I'm going a bit insane. But no, I don't mind.
It's been working though.
Yeah,
to echo what you said, Ryan, I think in terms of the squad depth, I think that proved it last night. To make 7 changes and still really compete with Leicester. I know. Again, they made 7 changes as well, but to compete with another, very good Premier League side with a second string and like the likes of like Shaqiri and Kabovnik and Moda making their debuts. These players haven't played that much this season, so that's another big factor as well. I thought it was really impressive the fact that with a second string team and against was it against Arsenal as well when we played our second string team, we narrowly lost, and it just shows that like every time we play these sort of second string and reserve players, they're still doing the job. So for me, that's all positive signs and gives me a lot of hope for, especially next season. Like if we can start with that base squad, have those like unbelievable young players coming in through, like the Caicedos and Ostergaard coming back from loan, Roberts, all these other people, Clark from Derby. We're gonna have a really exciting and we're gonna have so many players that I just don't know how we're gonna fit them all in. That's gonna be the tough part.
Did you guys see that graphic from the Athletic they done, which was pretty cool?
Which one?
Did you see, it was like our depth, it was like our squad, but all the depth and how many years they have left on the contract and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Solly March only has 1 year left, but I think he had an asterisk, which meant that he has a automatic 1 year extension clause. But there were a few players in the red there that are all kind of edging on 1 year now. I think Basuma's only on 2 left, which
Basuma will go in the summer
probably.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't go in the summer, then it could be. We don't want to sell him for free. That's for sure. Well, not sell him. We don't want to lose him for free because that would be stupid business.
Yeah, we'll probably let him go soon.
Silly business.
Silly
but
boys.
That was sick seeing Caicedo on the bench, though, wasn't it? Because from what Brian Owen said of the Argus, he was saying that Caicedo is basically in pre-season mode, so we won't see him for 2 months. But then, Potter said that as well, didn't he? So then to have him on the bench for Leicester a few weeks after signing him was quite strange. It was a bit of a surprise, to be fair.
Do you reckon that was just for like not for show, but like it was just to be like, to appease the fans? Just like, oh yeah, lads, don't worry, he's here.
I mean, it excited me, to be fair. Actually, on that,
they got you.
They did get me on the Caicedo thing. I got a little bit of a story. So obviously we know Matty Rock.
I love it.
Story time with Ben. I know my houses and all that stuff about the players and that. I think I've had a few.
Which is a bit weird, but go on.
A few stories of Matty Ryan and that. Basically, so obviously Matty Ryan's moved out and he's moved to London in for his Arsenal move or whatever. Basically, apparently Caicedo and Alzate went round looking around his flat. Alzate went with him, and apparently it's just really weird. Like, so you had the player liaison, the female, can't remember what her name is. She was there, like showing them around the flat with the landlords, and like apparently after a while, like the landlord was kind of like thinking, how is this like 19-year-old kid from Ecuador going to fend for himself? Like apparently, like Caicedo really wanted to move in with Alzate, but Alzate was like, no chance, mate, I've got my own place. And he was just like kind of begging, like, please, let's live together. And then eventually, like after like 5 minutes, they were like, here's the TV, like 60-inch TV. And for the whole time, like whole tour around the flat, Caicedo just like watched Sky Sports for the whole time. And like, it was just really weird. And then so Alzate was basically looking around the potential flat for him, even though Caicedo was just sitting there on his own. Like, but God, it is a bit weird. Like, you don't think about it. He's probably lived with his family in Ecuador. From all this footage we've seen, he seems like a pretty family man, like a proper teenager, really. And then to just suddenly move to a whole new country, whole new culture, like we were talking about earlier, and just living on your own suddenly, that must be pretty mad.
Yeah,
it's my age.
It's
It's
a bit
like
of a
me
jump.
going now to Ecuador. Like, God,
Yeah.
I couldn't picture that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like,
But he needs to go to some like service
apartment.
apartment like Karbovnik has, which is basically like you get like, it's almost like a hotel, but in apartments, basically.
Yeah.
But the flat where Matty Ryan lived, like Lallana's literally right under him. So if Caicedo does move in there, then Lallana could hopefully like take care of him and like drop him to training and stuff. Which would be quite cool if he could learn a few tricks around Lallana and mentor him like that.
We're doing cross turns in no time.
Cross turns, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Oh God, not you as well. But it is just a bit mad, like just thinking that these 19-year-olds just get like, they sign for a club, you just forget about it. You don't actually think where they're living or how they do fend for themselves.
My mate, he lives in Storrington here, and he plays for the Arsenal Academy. So he's just turned 16, and he had to move out at 15.
Yeah.
So he goes and lives in London.
Brian?
I'm not
Do you
sure.
have to go to digs?
The academy do.
Yeah.
My mate has
probably.
a few Brighton players at his place. Like a few of the 16-year-olds.
I mean, he's at the Arsenal. I think he lives in London now, and he's 2-3 years younger than me. It's just like just mad. You could not even imagine that. Me at 16, thinking, you got to go move to London on your own, and be on your own. You got to think, that's a whole different ball game, isn't it? At that age, you're doing your GCSEs in London. It's like it's mad.
That's the harsh, sort of like, well, no, not the harsh reality, but the stark reality of professional football. It's like, so like you said, Ben, like, moving out of that such a young age, and then, for example, right, let's say, for example, this 16-year-old kid has left, gone to, your mate Ryan. Let's use him as an example. Let's say he's gone to London, he's playing for the Arsenal Academy, but then let's say he doesn't get offered his professional contract.
Exactly.
Like, imagine the world, like your world must. You don't know anything but football, and like you've made all these sacrifices and all that stuff, and unfortunately we've seen so many cases that, rest in peace, there's a couple of young footballers who've taken their own lives because Crawley and the Man City player as well. So you see, and unfortunately it's just like the harsh reality of like, and I think that's one thing, like, without getting sort of too deep and political about it, I think like there should be a system in place by the FA or wherever it might be to give like a support system. So like once these players get released and whatnot, the FA can maybe send like an ex-pro or someone who's been through the same scenario, but like, right, this is what I did, this is what happened to me, but I've come through it that way. Because was it Tom Dolan plays for Blackburn? He was best mates with a Man City guy, and he done a really good interview recently. Yeah, he done a really, really good interview saying basically how he just wants to basically, if I can offer advice to one person is, I got released from, I think it's from Preston. He got released from Preston. He was like, look, now I play for Blackburn first team, so like, don't give up, kind of thing. And he spoke from his experiences. So if he can pass it on to other players, why not, kind of thing. And I think it should be some kind of like community of footballers where they can go and speak to these young lads and just be like, look, it's not the end of the world and you can come back from it, kind of thing, because that is their world, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say with our training ground at Lancing, I don't know if you've been like around it before, but I saw just how incredible the youth facilities are. I'm not sure if this applies to everyone in the Premier League.
It's class.
But the facilities there, so they've got, for those who don't know, they've got a wall at the back of that room, like the main reception sort of room where they eat and everything. And there's like a big wall at the back, and it's got everyone who's graduated up and made their debuts professionally. So say Ben White, Lewis Dunk, etc. They're all at the back with like their date and when they did it. It's that in itself, that would be amazing. And then I think they've got like an education room as well. So, it goes up the years. So from like 9, 10, 11-year-olds to then sort of GCSE age. So you're 13 to 16, I think it's GCSE age. And then if you want to go, and I don't think you'll probably be doing further education by that point, but there is, I think, that there as well. So that's really good how you can still be getting sort of like your maths, your English, your science and all that sort of thing, sort of necessity.
Yeah, they do the education properly.
Yeah, that's like really, really good, because it's just like, let's face it, if you are a young player, the chances of you making it is still so low, even if you get to the under-23s. Your chance of making it at a professional club is still very low. You've still got a long way to go. So I think that's a good way of doing it, keeping them educated, making sure. I know it's hard to think of a plan B when you're so fixed on your plan A, but
yeah, they don't want to think of it. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, I was even going to say that they should teach them skills, like teach them trades, like how to do carpentry, for example. But obviously, one, they probably don't have time to do that, because let's be honest, even if you're a 14-year-old kid in academy, you have such a busy schedule. You do your normal school, then you play for Brighton, and then you have your education there as well, and then you have training, and it's constant. You probably don't have time to learn those kind of trades, especially if you want to compete with the other clubs. Unless the FA make a rule where you're like, look, or even FIFA, well, probably wouldn't be FIFA. Let's say the FA, for example, if they say 2 hours a week, they have to learn a new skill, or they have to learn a skill, and for that one season they have to learn a skill as well as their education as well.
I think
no,
definitely.
I mean, it's like
go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, it's like even me now. It'd be like saying, look, you got to focus on something else other than football, because like all I want to do is go into this football media world. That's it. That's all I want to do. And like I could easily just easily not do it. It's still, I'm only like, it's a long way to go. I'm not even close to being there yet. And it's like, that could fail. It could. It genuinely could. And I don't even have a clue what else I want to do apart from in this world. Like, media is literally all I've ever wanted to do for years. So I couldn't even imagine doing anything else. And that's probably the wrong mindset to have. I don't know.
I was about to say,
that's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, I think that's exactly it. Like, you touched on it as well, Ben. It's like, all these footballers, I think they're just very, which is good, obviously, that they're very like sort of tunnel vision. It's like, I need to become a professional footballer. That's it. Like, that's my only, and I will. But I just looked up, and it's the percentage of players that make it is 1%.
Under 1, isn't it?
From so when they enter the academy at the age of 9, less than 1% make it. So that just speaks volumes in itself. Like 99% of players from an academy of ages of 9 will never make it professionally. And like to know that's your chances is must be quite daunting. Like
at least mine isn't that low.
Pressure on you. I think media is about
Should be
Ryan. If I made it, anyone can. Anything's possible, mate.
even like teaching them how to edit videos or edit or Photoshop, for example. Then even if they don't make it professionally, like in actual football, they can still work in football, like work in the media department for the club where they're old enough. Yeah. If they learn how to edit pictures or edit videos, like they have some decent skills there to be able to
media, all that stuff.
I hope they need to show this podcast to the Brighton Hove Albion youth team.
Yeah,
because we need to. Everyone listening to this is going to be like, I'm not a Brighton player. Like, why are you telling me this? It's interesting to talk about.
If you're in the under-18s or something and you're not sure if you're going to make it or not, you have a bit of self-doubt, come on the podcast. We'll have a little chat. We're going to get you into the business world or something like that.
Come on, we got you. But no, honestly, it's a really interesting subject, and we could ramble on about it for days on end. And maybe we can even do a sort of separate episode on that. It'll be quite interesting. But yeah, moving on, just in terms of Brighton, we've obviously we've got Villa coming up. So Villa, they've been a bit. For me personally, they've been a bit up and down really. Like, they've had some amazing results. Obviously, the one that sticks out to me is obviously smashing Liverpool 7-0. But then they've had fair results that have gone, not gone their way, and their form's a bit sort of up and down. They win one game and then lose another. They're a bit inconsistent at the moment. So I'm quite hopeful with a few players rested. I think we can go into the game quite confident. I don't know, Ryan, what your thoughts are?
Yeah, I think so too. I just think, as I said earlier, they're there for the taking, because we're not a bad side. We beat them earlier in the season. We're on a good bit of form. We're still unbeaten in the Premier League in 5 games. So, it's there for the taking. We saw last night that our supposed second team can, run around for 90 minutes and do a good job. So that's in itself, quite pleasing to think. if it does come to it, we've got to make some subs against Villa. We've got a lot of depth, and that's what's very important, I think. So I think just go for it. It's there for the taking. I've said too many times now. It's going to get caught up on. So.
That's going to be your saying, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even realise I was saying it till then. But yeah, I think we can do it. So you see.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm probably not as positive. I don't know. I like watching Villa, and I think they're a pretty decent team. And I think like similar to us now, they play like the same team week in week out. And it seems to be working for them. But I know what you're saying, Maz, that some weeks they will go and have a really good performance and win by a decent scoreline, and then suddenly they'll lose a game, and you just think there isn't much consistency sometimes.
Just going through their fixtures, like their past. So let's start with Man United when they lost 2-1. They lost against Man United, lost against Liverpool, lost against Man City, which obviously a very hard run. Then they beat Newcastle, then lost to Burnley, beat Southampton, then lost to West Ham, and then beat Arsenal. Literally, going by their form, they're actually due a loss. So we're going to win.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. It's confirmed. Spot the
I
pattern.
like Barkley. I like Grealish playing together. Obviously, Ollie Watkins is a big fan of him.
Yeah.
They have some exciting players that I'd love to have at Brighton, but obviously we just can't. We don't have the facilities for that.
A lot of Villa fans as well. They've been raving about Konsa. I've seen a lot of players
he looks good.
Saying that he's a really. I haven't actually seen much of him, but they're saying he's a really solid centre half.
He'll be better than Mings.
I mean, down the spine of the team.
Yeah, they do admit he's better than Mings now. Yeah, because we've done a post of Mings getting turned inside out. And we forget
they've got Emi Martinez, who's a very solid keeper as well. He's been class this season.
Apart from against West Ham, did you not see Lingard's goals? They literally straight out and parried him. That was so out of character for him.
Yeah. Oh, and also,
they do have a very good team. And
just quickly, before I forget, sorry. I just wanted to make a point about, because you made a point, Ben, about how Villa play all of their players like a lot, like in terms of consistent with their starting lineups, and that made me think about Lewis Dunk. Now, we've pretty much Dunky. I think he's played, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's pretty much played every cup game and every league game that's. I think so far. Right. I think he's like the only one who's played at every game. My question to you both is that a bit not worrying, but like. Are you worried that he might get a bit of a burnout in terms of playing all these games? Because I think, like I said, he's one of the only players that's played like every game. Do you think he maybe should have been rested for the cup games and keep him fresh? Because he's essentially our best defender and one of our best players in the squad. So if we lost him, that would be huge. Do you think that was something we should consider, or do you reckon just keep playing him until
it might bounce back in the arse? I think maybe if we rested him against Blackpool, that might make sense. Because if you're looking at our fixtures now, when you can't really point out and say there's a game where we can rest him, like. Realistically and ideally, you'd want him to play for the rest of the season because it's all Premier League games now, isn't it? So he doesn't really have any opportunities unless he gets injured to miss a game. So maybe we have missed the boat. But I don't know if it's easy to compare players, but we know Ben White played every minute for Leeds last season. It does happen. Like some players do play every minute of every game for their club. So maybe Dunk is that player that can get away with doing it for the season. I don't know. What do you reckon, Ryan?
Yeah, I think, he's the captain. So, you'd want your captain playing as many games as he can. And obviously Dunk's in probably what would be almost the peak of his career. He would be, the point where he should be playing his best years. So I think he would think he's at his probably his fittest. He's probably thinking he can just play any game. If he's not having a problem with it, then I don't see him being dropped. And I just think, as I say, he's the captain. So he's the one that you'd want first man on the team sheet if you can. He's been our best player this season again, pretty much.
Even Potter said, didn't he? Potter said in his interview a couple games ago, he was like Lewis Dunk is our best player. I think it was after the block he made against Fulham. Potter came out straight away and just went, he's like Lewis Dunk, he's our best player.
Yeah,
I think the whole squad knows that.
He's so gifted, it's ridiculous. Like. He's got so many qualities. And actually, that's what I was going to mention from yesterday, because I know I don't shut up about it.
The chesting.
But his chesting against Leicester was different class.
You're
different class. I'm telling you. I put a tweet out as well. I said, his chest was just different class.
I believe you.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Proper footballer. And his head was back to the goalkeeper as well. Just top class centre-half, honestly.
I saw him do those chests, Ryan. I thought of you straight away. I was like, Ryan's going to be so wrecked.
He did it. I think he did it 3 or 4 balls in a row. Literally, just kept going. Oh, chest that one down, kick that one out. Oh, chest it down, kick.
It was a ball over the top to Vardy. You're thinking, oh, here we go, and then looks like
just chested it off.
Don't worry about that, boys.
No worries.
Yeah,
that's
and actually, I'm actually going to sort of prove myself wrong here. Actually, I've just looked at the amount of games each player's played this season, and actually, Donkey ranks amongst like 5 or 6 players who've played nearly every game. So Adam Webster actually played 2 more games than Donkey, and so is Ben White. So yeah, apparently, according to Flash Score, which is usually quite reliable.
Oh, well, cool. Well, Dunk got suspended, didn't he?
Of course he did. Yeah.
I don't know if he missed just 1 game or 3. I can't remember. Did he miss more than one?
He did get suspended at some point.
Yeah,
was that only 1 game or was it 3 though?
Yeah,
he chopped out.
Yeah, it was a straight red. Yeah, it was a straight red. It was a straight red. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I actually got. Going against my own sort of my own point. Yeah, he's one of sort of 3 or 4 players that have played near on sort of every game they're available. But I think you both make a really good point. Like especially Ryan as well with the whole he's our captain. He should be playing. He should be the first first player on the team sheet, which makes sense. My only concern is I don't want to see him sort of getting leggy and then just burning out and not
international break. So if he doesn't get picked, which he probably won't get picked, we all know he doesn't get picked, so he'll have some time to rest then. So we won't have to worry about him getting picked because Southgate is an absolute nulls.
I'm over that now, so much so. I'm just like, every single time I see their lineups, I'm just like, and I see the Gomez, Maguire, Stones, and I'm just like, I'm going to bash my head against the wall. And it's just like, oh my God, what does this man have to do to get in that team? It's just, honestly, he could probably go the whole season without conceding a goal, and he'd still not be picked for England. Like I don't get what Southgate's agenda is. It's weird. It's really weird, and I'd love to see if he keeps up this consistency. If Lamptey gets good as well, like it would just be if he can not pick Lamptey like when he gets good, because Trent's been right off it recently. So it would be very, very weird if he still doesn't pick some of our players just because they play for us.
Thing is, this is going to sound controversial. I think we've mentioned it before, but I genuinely think on their day, like the form they're all in, our back 5, barring obviously Burton, so put March in there. I think they could all play for England. You look at March, you look at Ben White, Lewis Dunk,
no, I genuinely think that.
And Lamptey. Like, there's no reason why our back 5 would not get into that England team at some point if they carry on the form they're in, and they're all at the top of their game. I don't see any reason why not. But out of those 5, maybe one could potentially get with Southgate under on the helm. They won't pick at them. But
did you see about Bobby Sanchez as well? Maybe being called up
to Spain or England. Talk about
so either getting called up to Spain or England. Apparently it's down to him. He's Spanish born, but I think he's been here for 7+ years, so he's allowed to qualify for England if that's right.
He joined here when he was 15. Joined here when he was 15. I mean, I don't know. This will be an interesting question. If you, let's say, Ron, if you moved to Spain when you were 15.
This is easy. I know what you're going to say, and it's easy.
Would you pick Spain or England?
England.
Like, because you know England. You've been in, you've lived in England for 15 years.
I would pick England because it's my country. But if I didn't have the option, because let's face it, he probably won't. He'd probably just go Spain because he'll probably just go England if he had to. That's what I'm trying to say. If he had to go, I think he would have to do it. Be like Alzate to Colombia.
Both countries are probably looking at. I don't know, I might be talking about us because David De Gea has been a bit iffy, isn't it? I don't think he ever really. I know maybe he does play for Spain, so ignore that. But I think both nations could argue that they probably do need another option. I know Southgate loves playing Pickford still, even though we've got like Nick Pope and Henderson. Would he have more chance of getting in that Spain team?
I mean, there's only De Gea, him and
David
Kepa.
De Gea is awful.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's only him, De Gea and Kepa. That's it. So
that's what I'm saying. He probably will pick Spain.
He's got a long way to go, though. I think Sanchez. Although I think he's a good goalkeeper, he's not ready yet. I wouldn't say, but I think he'll get there. He just needs to iron out his. I think his biggest problem is his parrying, and once he sort of irons that out a bit, because he just pushes straight back out into danger, and that's a real big problem. But I think you got one of the best in Ben Roberts to teach you to stop doing that. And if your biggest problem is parrying, I'm not being funny, he'll sort that out. And he's only 23, so he's got a long way to go as a goalie. I mean, goalies normally go to like 35, 36, 37. So, he's got a long career ahead of him. Yeah. So he doesn't even need to worry about that.
on that question, Ben, for me, I feel like I'm quite well placed to answer it, just simply because so my parents are Iranian, but I've got a Swedish passport. So if I was a footballer, I'm eligible for both Iran and Sweden. Hey? But in that case, so for me personally, I was born there. Lived there till I was 6.
I was going to say, I thought you got given it or something.
No. Yeah, here you go, mate. Yeah, and both my parents are Iranian.
Lucky dip.
For me, this is exactly the same sort of situation. So for me personally, the way I would look at it, this is just my personal stance, is like I'd go for my blood like relations. So like my parents, they're both fully Iranian, born there, lived there, whatever. So I'd pick Iran simply because of that. Like I feel like I've got more of an affinity to them because of my bloodline in that sense. Yeah. However, in saying that, I've lived in England my whole life, so obviously I've got affinity to England. But then I was born in Sweden, so I've got like these. So you got all these sort of different kind of
mixed messages.
Mixed messages. So you're not like a bit like confused. So I mean, if I was him, just simply because of the how bad Spain's goalkeepers are at the moment, I'll definitely go for them. And to be fair, the outfield players on the whole are better than England, I'd argue.
And plus he's born in Spain, lived in Spain, so I think he'd probably choose that
exactly.
If he had to.
If you can relate to people listening from the UK, if you can relate, he lived in Spain until he was like in year 11, year 10.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
a long
that's
time.
quite a lot of your life.
Yeah.
So then 100%. To then suddenly ditch that and go to a foreign country. So I would be surprised if he picks England. I would be happy if he does, but I would also be
it's basically his whole childhood, isn't it? His whole childhood.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's gonna want to be.
And also, wherever your childhood's been, you got such a big sort of affinity to that. Like the good, hopefully he had good memories in his childhood, and you're just going to think of that, aren't you? When like making that kind of big decision, you're going to be like, well, I had a great time there. Why would I not sort of want to?
I'm pretty sure I'd be eligible to play for Burma though. So if the Myanmar national team wasn't completely terrible, I think they're ranked 160th in the world. But I might just get my shin pads out and go up there and have a look.
Mate, Ryan, definitely go play for them. I think that'd be class.
Do you know
what?
You
could probably be their manager, mate. Just be like, look, I've got you boys to 100th in the world rankings and football manager. There you go.
It probably wouldn't be hard to get into that team because they're probably like so bad. Like if they're ranked 160 something, and like half my family are like Burmese, so I could probably just do it. Why not?
Yeah, I used to think this when I was younger. Well, when I was younger, this is a really stupid thought, but bear in mind I was young. I used to think, I might just like try and get an Andorran, like a passport for Andorra, and just try and play for the national team. Just no, this is when I was younger, because I was just like, it would just be so easy to get in their team. Like, a bunch of like, I wasn't going to say passports, but God knows what they are.
Yeah, and Ben, when you say when you were younger, was that like a couple of days ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
The Burmese
no, I genuinely did just think like. I always know a really random fact about Andorra as well. I think it was just because we played them in England so much. It was like you could fit the whole country of Andorra in Old Trafford and then still have some room left over.
Myanmar, they're in the World Cup qualifiers. They lost 3 back-to-back. Myanmar, no, Burma.
Oh.
So they've got, I can't say some of these names, I can't lie, but Japan are top.
Can you imagine on their official website, Ryan, it's saying we're hiring? Sign up for the national team here.
Anyone with a passport, trials are open. Just put your name in the hat.
We're giving away free passports.
No, I reckon they do bingo and just pull names out of a hat. Right, we got Jimmy playing this week.
Like national service.
Let's have a look at their team.
Yeah. Do anyone play professional or is it all semi-pro?
I don't even know, to be honest.
I mean,
I can't tell you. I can't say I know any of their players, to be honest.
Yeah, don't blame you, mate.
On this weird subject, in this weird area that we're in, are we going to touch on the whole Saliba gate? The whole Saliba gate.
Can we not?
Can.
Just for the cringe.
Well,
factor.
we can tread round it carefully.
And for the fact I don't feel sick.
But yeah, all right. Basically, shall I sign up just in a nice sort of PG, in a PG way? Basically, what happened was there was an illicit video that was released on social media of a certain sexual act, which we won't go into. But it was actually a player that at the time he wasn't with us, was he? But he is now signed for us, and it's Ulrich Eller. Is it? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Eller guy.
Yeah, Eller. surname's Ella, yeah. And basically, he was caught on camera, doing a sexual act with Arsenal's Saliba. And that basically did the rounds.
And loads of other players around him in the locker room. Now, obviously, a few weird things here. One, him fully naked doing the sexual acts. But two, the fact that all the players are hanging around in the locker room with him. Saliba filming him is weird. And then also just like his mates in the tracksuits, French national tracksuits, sitting next to him. Just like minding their own business as if it's normal.
It was very. I mean, it's a very bizarre video.
It is bizarre. It is very bizarre.
Strange.
And obviously, the club's official lawyers have got involved and all that kind of stuff because I think he was underage. He was underage. I think he was under 16 when it was recorded potentially. So whoever then kept that video of Saliba. So someone screen recorded Saliba's Snapchat from a few years ago or whatever. And the fact that he was now underage and they've probably held onto it to release it when he's kind of in the press, and he was in the press. So like he called out Arteta.
Yeah,
he was like saying he hasn't given me a chance. An hour later, the video's released. So I reckon someone was definitely holding on to it, thinking, right, well, let's just wait until his name's around in the press again, and then we'll get it.
And then
so,
people were saying it was Arteta who leaked it.
Arteta, Oh, God.
Anyway, to change this subject, I found Burma on the national rankings, and they are 137th, right?
The national wankings. Sorry, Anna.
137th, right? So that's around Latvia, Tanzania, Chinese Taipei? No idea who that is.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei. Yeah.
Taipei, okay. Basically, a load of countries that you wouldn't even think play football are around Burma. So I've got to fancy my chances here. I've got to get my studs out and go and apply. Because I'm not being funny.
Mate, 100%.
I could be a professional footballer in Burma right now. That actually would be so fun. They're a bit higher than San Marino.
Honestly,
they're higher than San Marino. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the 1% that don't make it. I think you've got 99% of making it. I generally think you've got 99% of making it to the Burmese national team. I think you should get your boots on and send in the video of you like just having a kickabout in the garden and see what happens.
Put a few top ins, send it off to them as an application.
Yeah.
Just be like, I can play up front.
Listen, Mr. Myanmar, Burma, please can you just let me in your team just for a band?
Just send them the F2 video montage and just edit your face on Jez or something like that.
Yeah, face track your face.
The best thing to ever
happen to Burma. Yeah, that'd be good.
Imagine that. They think I'm Billy Wingrove or Jeremy Lynch. Oh my God. And then I get there and then it's absolutely disappointing. They probably release me.
Yeah. Right, boys. It's been a very weird episode, but a very pleasurable. Is that even a word? I'm gonna make it.
It was for Ella.
Oh God. Anyway, swiftly moving on.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
We've got to chop this out. If you're watching on YouTube, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, it does mean a lot to us. And please keep streaming it on Apple and Spotify. And again, that does really help us. And we will be back.
Ryan, what should they comment in the YouTube comments if they got this far?
Yeah. If you got this far,
they should comment up the Burma. That's what they should comment.
Yeah, up the Burma. I love that.
Up the Burma.
Up the Burma. I like that.
Get up
Did you find the flag? The emoji. Is there a flag in the emojis?
There is. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan's left the studio of his bedroom to go and fetch something.
It's definitely not going to be worth it. I can sense it now.
Yeah. We're approaching an hour, I think.
All this build up and it's going to be dead.
Burmese national shirt.
Oh, hello. Oh,
there we go.
It looks like a rugby top.
It does look like a rugby top.
It does a bit, to be fair. But yeah, that's it.
It's quite fresh, to be fair.
That is
there you go.
The Burmese.
Wait, isn't that Myanmar? Wait, I'm so confused. Is Myanmar? I'm all confused. Is Myanmar and Burma the same place?
Yeah, got renamed in 2010, I think it was, or something like that.
Right.
Rebrand.
I thought it was two separate countries. I was just like, what's going on here?
No, same country, but it's called Burma, really. So yeah,
right.
Same, but different.
That's the Burmese.
We're actually we're doing a giveaway, so Ryan's giving this away to
I'm not giving that away. I don't even know where I got it from, to be honest.
Yeah, comment down below, up the Burma, if you've made it this far.
Up the Burma.
And seen us ramble on for the last 15 minutes about nothing to do with Brighton. So
yeah,
we appreciate you sticking around. We appreciate you sticking around, and of course we will be back for after the Villa game. See you then.
Peace.